why boxing is actually a pretty good sport. So I haven't been to the boxing gym for a while, but I do have my own personal boxing bag that I punch and train on. I used to do boxing for about like 3 months to a year, and I'm actually gonna try to go back into it eventually once I have the funds to do so. But boxing is actually a very good sport for you to keep stamina and a good shaping body. When I was in boxing, I probably was in the best shape of my life at the moment. I had barely any fat, and it was more muscle than anything. I was pretty shredded, and now that I kind of am more at home now, and due to this quarantine, I've just been using the boxing bag, and I've seen that, of course, from all the food I eat at home and the protein and stuff like that, I've been gaining a little bit more weight, but also I've been getting muscle thanks to that boxing bag and actually training on it. So boxing, what it does for you. Boxing in the beginning is more cardio than anything, and that's where stamina comes in and play. So when I first got into a boxing gym, I expected just to go in and just start boxing right away on like these punching bags and everything like that. But no, it wasn't the case. They made us do lots of running and sprints and weight training, and I didn't expect that actually. Specifically, I remember this one day where we got out there and we ran and we just kept running and then back and forth and we challenged each other. And then the first thing I've noticed was they were trying to improve our timing when it comes to and our speed when it comes to punching. So what we did and what they taught us to do is actually grab a weight and punch the air with the weight on, so you actually have more weight on you. So it's going to feel a little bit slower, but once you keep training that way, it's going to get faster and faster as you go because your hands and your arms are getting used to that type of weight. So once you remove that weight, you'll be able to punch faster because you're no longer using that weight for training anymore. So after that, I expected just to keep doing cardio and stuff like that. They do lots of exercises where you have to do sit-ups, and then they have a weight ball and actually just smash it on your stomach to be able to take hits in boxing, because there's going to be lots of body shots and things like that, especially face shots. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with that too soon. It was more of training, so you'd be able to do that in the future. After doing that, we were able to start actually training when it comes to punching the bags and doing a little bit more strength training. And after, like, we still had our cardio. Don't get me wrong; it keeps you in shape by keeping the cardio in there in the training regimen. I remember some training that I had to do before hitting the bags, and specifically training with the coach. You had to basically burn yourself out. You couldn't be not tired. You have to be tired and then be able to do the strength training to be able to train with the coach, because he won't allow you to train with him unless you're tired, because once you get used to that, you'll be eventually able to last in the ring and fight opponents and stay on your feet for a long period of time. And it's very good for you. It's very healthy, because once you start getting into shape and start doing that stuff, you can basically almost eat anything. But for some reason, it kind of makes you want to start eating more clean, because you start putting on a little bit more muscle, start burning all those type of fats, and once you start getting some protein in, you start getting into shape. And that's a really good reason to keep if anybody wants to do a sport, even girls or anything, like I've seen girls be way better boxers than some dudes and like almost literally beat them up, and I'm like, wow, like anybody can get into shape by just doing boxing. Even if you don't really like to get into like fights or anything, like, or just in boxing rings and being able to fight somebody else, there is separate things where you could just do boxing training and get into shape and not have to fight anybody else, and it does very well. It keeps you in shape, even if it's going one day per week or just doing that. It keeps you in shape, and I love that about boxing. So thank you guys.